The market watched a man sit in silence for nearly 9 hours and decided that was fine. Good night. Let's talk about the most volatile event in financial markets this week: absolute, unbroken quiet. The source packet tells us that today's bursts were finalized at zero. Zero. Not one tweet, not one typo, not one ill-advised exclamation point aimed at a trade partner who is currently looking at a bridge opening invitation with profound suspicion. Instead, we got silence. And specifically, we got a silence that lasted 8 hours and 47 minutes. Do you know what that means? It means the gap between his last post and this one sits at the 96.6th percentile of every interpost gap in the archive since 2022. 96.6%. The man held his tongue long enough to break the thermometer on the chart. And what did the market do? Did it spike? Did it crash? Did it have a collective aneurysm over the possibility that he might actually be resting? No, the market did not care. I am acting stunned every single night that the market did not care, but here we are again. We are closing with this. Good night, everyone, and remember that if your day felt real today, you probably didn't check the percentiles against historical baselines first. Tomorrow we do it all over again. But I would like to note on the record that at least one of us is going to need a nap before Sue while the audience is busy wondering why the silence wasn't enough to move the needle. Let's look at our two colleagues, who are both wrong. On the left, we have a pundit arguing that this silence is a brilliant geopolitical maneuver. He claims the former president is building a wall by sucking up his own toxic rhetoric before it crosses into Canada. It seems everyone who told her the market would punish this behavior was wrong again, because nothing stops this nonsense. Meanwhile, on the right, our other colleague is screaming that we are living in an absurd Merv who knows how much wall because our enemies can't even breathe right without a tariff. He is over these percentiles and baselines trying to explain why clean air is actually a foreign policy win. One says silence is power. The other says silence is suffocation. Both are interpreting a lack of data as a data point, which is the financial equivalent of guessing the weather by looking at your shoes. And what were we supposed to be talking about in that silence? Canada. Specifically, the Gordie Howe Bridge. Yesterday, Canada disinvited the United States of America to the opening of the bridge. This is fine, considering they are paying substantial tariffs to the U.S., which seems like a weird way to handle diplomatic protocol, but there it is. The controversy isn't that he didn't post. The controversy is that we spent all morning pretending his absence was a strategic strike on Canadian infrastructure, rather than just him waiting for a Wi-Fi signal in a place with no cell service. Now, before we go, let's look at last week's poll of the week results, which asked, more than half his bursts land when the market is closed. What do you make of that? This is entertainment only, never a market forecast, never the jury. The people who voted said this. For the option nothing, that's just when he's awake and angry, we got 0 votes. For deliberate, a whole weekend of it before anyone can trade, we got 1 vote. For the closed market is the point, no price to argue back, we got 1 vote. And for coincidence, he posts constantly, some of it lands after hours, we got 0 votes. The total votes were 2. 2 people spoke to us, and they are divided on whether this is a plot or an accident. I promise a correction segment with the enthusiasm of a man who has one ready, but there is nothing to correct yet because the sample size is smaller than my patience. We must also read tonight's registry seal aloud like a hostage proving the date. The line in the packet starts with registry chain head, 9149, add 96F0DB. So digit by digit, 9149 a D96FODB, that is the hash. We acknowledge it. We do not know what it means. We just read it because we are trained seals who have learned to appreciate the absurdity of digital provenance in a market driven by impulse control disorders. Finally, this week's poll, more than half his bursts land when the market is closed. What do you make of that? We want you to vote on the site. The options are nothing, that's just when he's awake and angry. Deliberate a whole weekend of it before anyone can trade. The closed market is the point, no price to argue back. Or coincidence, he posts constantly, some of it lands after hours. Go vote. Tell us your theories. We will read them with the same skepticism we apply to all human communication from this administration. The market is fine. I am the one who is not fine. Good night. Dale Buckhorn's HVAC wall has Canada baffled. Does this diplomatic DIY project signal strength or sheer absurdity? Let's see what the booth makes of this bizarre trade war.
Trump is trying to build a wall with HVAC parts, while Canada stares at him like he's lost his mind, proving once again that diplomacy is just another DIY project for this man. I want to be very careful about how I say this, and then I'm going to say it anyway. If Dale Buckhorn thinks this makes sense, he's officially lost the plot.
The MERV filter wall is up, and Canada is suffocating on our good ideas. My co-panelist calls it a DIY disaster, but I call it high-efficiency victory with the air conditioning cranked to total dominance.
The booth weighed in, but reality offers a flat line, a 0% measured move today. Left, your lost plot theory holds zero momentum. Right, that total dominance air conditioning produced absolutely nothing.